I, 28M, am currently sitting in a glass-walled corner office, staring at a stack of digital resumes. 3 of those names belong to the people who tried to bury me 5 years ago: my father, my older brother, and my former best friend. They have no idea I'm the one conducting the final review. They just know they're desperate, and I'm the anonymous CEO of the firm that just acquired their failing family logistics company. The mess started at a dinner table when I was 23. My father, a man who believed loyalty was a one-way street leading to his bank account, slammed his fist on the table. I had just been offered a full-ride fellowship to an elite tech incubator in California to develop a proprietary logistics AI I'd been coding in my dorm. He told me I wasn't going. He said my brother was struggling with fleet management, and I had to stay and fix it. My brother just smirked and told me to hand over my code so he could have someone local look at it. He told me I owed Dad for my upbringing. Then my best friend, who was my father's protege, looked me in the eye and said, "Choose your family or some pipe dream where nobody knows your name." I told them it was a hard choice. I meant it. But I packed my bags that night, left the keys to the car my father bought me on the counter, and took off with my laptop and $4,000 in savings. The escalation was instant. Within 48 hours of landing in California, I got a cease and desist. My father claimed any code I wrote while living in his house was company property. My brother called me screaming, calling me a thief and promising to tie me up in court until I was broke. My best friend even texted me that he told my father where I was staying so process servers could find me. The first year was a nightmare. I was living on ramen, sleeping on a floor, and reading California labor laws to defend myself. My father used the company's legal retainer to file frivolous motions in Ohio, where the business was based, to force me back for depositions. He even tried to tell the incubator I was under a non-compete. Fortunately, under California law, his non-compete was basically garbage, but the legal fees almost drained me. While they were obsessed with sinking me, they ignored their own business. My brother was blowing company funds on marketing trips to Vegas and signing disastrous vendor contracts. I spent 3 years in total obsession, turning my algorithm into a platform called NexusFlow. By the end of year 4, their company, Standard Logistics, was in a terminal decline. I didn't buy their debt directly. That would have tipped them off. I used a shell company to acquire their primary creditors. I effectively became their landlord and their bank without them knowing. Last month, they officially defaulted. They had a choice: liquidation or acquisition. They chose acquisition, thinking a white knight was coming to save them. When I walked into that boardroom for the final transition, the color drained from their faces. My father tried to play the family card immediately, suggesting he stay on as a consultant and my brother get a VP role. I shut that down fast. I told them I'd had a forensic audit team in their books for weeks. I brought up the Vegas expenses and a kickback scheme my best friend had set up with fuel suppliers. My father threatened to go to the press and paint me as a sociopath who betrayed his blood. I told him to go ahead, but reminded him that I now owned the company's liabilities too, including the tax discrepancies from 3 years ago. If he talked to the press, I'd become a cooperative witness for the IRS. The dirty tricks didn't stop there. My father actually went on a local news on your side segment, dabbing his eyes and lying about how he'd mentored me. My brother tried to file a derivative shareholder lawsuit, claiming his minority rights were violated. He even showed up at my mother's house, the one I was now paying for, to demand 15% equity and a job, threatening to pierce the corporate veil. I didn't even raise my voice. I played a recording of my brother and father discussing how they'd drain the company dry once they forced me to give them jobs. I explained that because I acquired the company through a debt-for-equity swap after a documented default, their minority shares were legally extinguished. They owned 0% of nothing. The final twist came when a national conglomerate offered to buy my entire operation for hundreds of millions. The only condition? A total purge of the old management. They saw the audits and wouldn't touch the deal if my father or brother were involved. I called them into my office one last time. I offered to wipe out the personal debt liabilities I held against them for their fraud if they signed a lifetime ban from the logistics industry. My brother cried about his mortgage. My father called me an arrogant prick. I then opened my laptop and showed them the hiring portal for entry-level logistics coordinators. $45,000 a year, reporting to 22-year-old interns. I told them if they signed the ban, they could apply, like everyone else. The conglomerate would blacklist them everywhere else anyway. My brother was the first to sign. He was so desperate he asked if he could have the job right then. I told him to fill out the application online and not to expect a referral. My best friend signed next, literally twitching. My father was last. He realized the choice he gave me years ago was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me to build a world where he wasn't the king. As they walked out, I felt total peace. No guilt, just the satisfaction of a debt settled. I hit approve on the acquisition and watched my bank account hit numbers I couldn't have imagined at 23. I'm the CEO, and they're just waiting for their orientation emails. If you enjoyed watching this family legacy burn to the ground to make room for something better, hit that subscribe button. I promise my management style is way better than my dad's.